Hello everybody, how's it going? Red University, we are back here with another deck. I kind of got inspired by this video. Um, and it made me realize how like small the right now how static the game is and how small the pool is. So a lot of times I think we kind of run into these same ideas when it comes to deck building. But by the title you should know this video is about me, and we're gonna be talking not about me, but this video is about me talking about decks that are non-meta decks, and what are kind of like the best ones you can use that aren't the staple Mewtwo, Pikachu, Starmie, Charizard EX, which obviously you might see some EXs now. But so with that being said, when we're saying non-meta, we're kind of a lot of times implying I think non-EX too in a sense. But mainly just like none of the big staple EXs anyway. But so yeah, here we're gonna pretty much also when we're talking about non-meta, you can pretty much assume it's gonna be some easier cards to obtain. They're not gonna be super rare cards because I think the best decks take a little bit of a look. And I'll even say that with this Charizard deck, I managed to get I opened one Charizard pack and got both of these Charizards in the same 10 pack. Not the same pack, but and I opened 10 packs and I got both of these in that same pack opening. So after opening 100 cards, we pulled two of those, and also probably pulled the Moltres in that same pack as well. And then recently we did a what's it called? What is that? What is it called? What is it called? What is it called? Sorry. What are you called? The Wonder Pick. There it is. I cannot remember that. We did a Wonder Pick and we picked up our second Moltres. So this was purely luck of us getting this, being able to build this deck. So when it comes to meta decks, it takes a lot of luck, either a lot of spending or a lot of luck, one of the two. So we just kind of got lucky with that Charizard, and I've been using it a little bit, and we're gonna have a gameplay video of that soon. But besides that, we're here to talk about some non-meta decks, and I know firsthand because I've been using them since I'm pretty much free to play, and this is videos pretty much meant for free to play players. Because if you are, I mean, unless you just like other decks besides meta, hey, I'm that guy too. I like to use what's gonna help me win, but I also like to use what I like to use. I don't always like to use what everyone else is using or what the best card is right now. But long as the deck I'm using can beat those decks, then I'm all for it. I usually, I'm like whatever I like to use, that can also win. So like I said, I can't wait for them to drop some cards that I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of Gen 4. I can't wait to maybe get my hands on like a Garchomp or an Infernape or something like that. So I think that would be really nice when we can get some more cards in, especially this game too. It pretty much you can build a deck with pretty much anybody. Almost any card you can build a deck with. So here we're gonna be talking about some cards that you can build a deck around that's pretty viable. And most of them are really great against the meta. So first and foremost, this one probably isn't a surprise, but Dragonite. I built this deck a while ago. This Dragonite deck has done me well. Now I didn't realize this is me. I built this deck on my own essentially in kind of a small world deal, but this is also apparently one of the this is also the like best one of the top like Dragonite build decks. Like it's like I said, so many limited cards. They pretty much I came up with this deck, and like 80 other people came up with this deck also, and this deck is pretty much like I want to say up there for one of the best Dragonite decks. And funny enough too, another Dragonite deck people use is Kangaskhan, which I also had thought to do as well. But I thought when I built this deck, I thought the meta Dragonite deck was Weezing. People were using Weezing as like the tank, and pretty much every Dragonite deck is built to have some type of tank or staller that you stall until you can build up your Dragonite. So this what this deck essentially does. We have Frostmoth and Dragonite, and this really just Dragonite himself. Any Dragonite deck. I could have also named this video best essentially just best non-meta cards. But yeah, Dragonite is definitely up there. But this one's a little bit more tricky. So I know a lot of the newer players definitely weren't gonna probably be able to build a Dragonite deck because you need all three evolutions, and I think that's kind of one of the harder things to do. Is to get three full evolutions, and then you need two sets of them. So you say yeah, this one took me a few days, probably like my fifth day. I was able to build this deck on this game. But yeah, so Dragonite, Dragonair, Dratini. So yeah, this is my build. Misty, two Misties, Professor Research, Sabrina. So you just want to be able to get you just want to be able to put energy on your Frostmoth and build up your Dragonite and just stall as long as you can until because Dragonite is pretty much lives up to his pseudo legendary name on this game. He's 160, so he's pretty much like funny enough with like pseudo legendary. He's like a pseudo EX. He has more HP. Pretty much is an EX. More HP than the EX, most EXs, like a Mewtwo, Pikachu EX, Starmie EX. He has more HP than those Pokemon, but he only costs one. If he goes down, he only costs one, and he takes quite a bit of time. But he does take quite a bit of time to build up. But he's the only card besides Charizard that can hit for 200 if there's no other card. If there's only one Pokemon on the field, you're guaranteed to hit 200 then. But yeah, he's one of the only ones that does that as well. So yeah, he's really really awesome, especially if you can get him going. But yeah, it's pretty tricky to do. But yeah, he's very viable. People have been making Dragonite decks since this game's came out. The very very staple, underrated non-meta deck. Yeah, I think the only reason he's not meta is just because sometimes it's just setting up is so tricky, and also when you're stalling, if your opponent gets lucky, there's so many times. A lot of these faster decks, especially right now, there's a big influx of Arcanine EX right now, and if they're hitting their Misties, it is pretty much tough to beat because they're hitting you so hard super early. Like turn two, they can if they get lucky, turn their first turn, the second turn, but their first turn they can be hitting you for 80 already. That's why that deck is crazy bad, and I think I think definitely like one at least one rule restriction with Misty is just you cannot use her until turn three. I feel like the third turn of the match. I think that maybe should be added to her thing because yeah, that is crazy. Arcanine EX instantly getting a Misty. Um because all you need is two heads and you're already hitting 80 plus the bench. Yeah, insane. Yeah, it's pretty impossible to come back from that too because yeah, I mean, I think that like the only thing I can think of is like an electric deck, and then maybe your second turn you're pitting like one of those tankier like Zek Striker or something like the Zep Striker. You pit that out, but if they got Giovanni, then he's done for because he just took 10 last turn. So yeah, it's all bad with that. But anyways, Dragonite, really solid card. Love him. Frostmoth. I've been going against Frostmoths and they've been giving me a lot of struggles. It's kind of when I used it, it was hit or miss because you have to. So many things have to go right with this to be fair. But when it does go right, it is really beautiful. But you have to kind of hit on your Misty, and not immediately. Not immediately. You got two Misties in the deck. So long as you have two Misties in the deck, so long as you hit like if you just hit one each, or like just get lucky on one of them and get two, or if you just get one and then you put your own energy on Frostmaw, then you're really good to go here. And also, if you just don't have a Dratini out early, you can start building up Frostmoth. If you don't have any other options either. So, if you don't have your Dratini out yet, so really really great. Another option instead of Frostmoth, Kangaskhan, like I said, and another option besides Kangaskhan is Wheezing. So you can use Wheezing, like I said. I think that was pretty much the meta for Dragonite at first, but I don't think too many people like that one too much. But it does work okay because you have Koga and you can retreat. And then you know, it works a lot better actually now I think about it as a stall because all your energy is going to Dratini for sure in this build is pretty much guaranteed. Long as you're pulling Wheezing and you have a second coffin in the back and you Koga, so then you have another one and you don't lose no energy. So that actually isn't too bad either. Not I don't have I don't have a second Wheezing yet to try that deck. But as soon as I get a second Wheezing, I may try that build and see how well it works. But yeah, so far this is the one you just want to stall. Any Pokemon that's pretty tanky and is gonna be able to stall you long enough to get your Dragonite out. You're in good shape. So and also too, I love going first with these decks as well, especially this one. If you go first and then you hit, because then you can start evoing Dratini as quickly as possible, and then as well as you can evo Frostmoth and then start. Hope maybe on your third turn you hit the Misty, and then you can start stalling from there. So be really nice turn one deck too as well. So next up on the list, and the one we're gonna talk about too is like I said, I don't have a Wheezing deck, but I don't have Wheezing, so I haven't made a Wheezing deck, but I can I'll talk about that in a second too. Um, as well. Blaine, not specifically Blaine. I made a Blaine deck, but more so specifically Ninetales. Ninetales is Ninetales and slash Blaine. This is a really powerful combo. I think a lot of people can get this deck early. I know it took me a while for me to get Ninetales, but you know, getting fire cards on here is pretty easy, especially if you're open like Charizard packs, things like that. Let me look at this specifically. And I think you get those from you get yeah, the Vulpix and Ninetales you specifically get from Charizard, Ponyta and Magmar. Okay, Magmar also but Rapidash and Ponyta any of the decks, okay? So Blaine, you can naturally just get this deck from opening Charizard packs, I think. But Blaine on top of Ninetale doing 90 damage per hit. So you're one-shotting Pikachu EX, you're one-shotting a lot of things that's like sub 120. And 90 alone is just a decent amount of damage to be doing. And so yeah, this deck doesn't really have too many flaws. Now, one thing I will say, I was running Magmar, but I think you definitely want Rapidash and you definitely want Ninetales. Only reason Magmar was here because of the Blaine as well. But for 50 damage, to put 2 energy on him, and he needs 2 energies to retreat. Magmar I've learned that he's become a real hindrance in this deck. So one thing I think I would do to replace him is I think Farfetch is a far better option here. Farfetch at least. This one. I think Farfetch is a lot better, even though he's 20 less, little less tanky. It's okay, long as we can start attacking with him turn 2. If he was our only basic card and we put him out turn 1 and we went second, he can already go ahead and start attacking. It only takes him 1 to retreat, so it doesn't take any build up with him. And in a deck where Ninetales, you have to constantly keep feeding your Ninetales, you cannot afford to have to build up another card in that process because yeah, you just can't. So if I gotta take my Ninetales out, cool, great. Then I can throw in another card, and then when Ninetales comes back in, you know it. You just need you. It has to be fluid, and I think Magmar disrupts that so much even though even though Blaine, he is boosted by Blaine and you want to kind of optimize your support cards, I think, but he just hinders that deck too much. But then you also have Rapidash here in this deck as well. But Ninetales is our star player here, underrated card, 90. Only only negative is that Rapidash is kind of a glass cannon, because I will say 90 HP is not the best. Gets one-shotted by Pikachu EX, one-shotted by Starmie EX, uh, one-shots by pretty much anything. Unlike the Dragonite. Yeah. So Ninetales really big glass cannon. I was I'm running. I don't know. Oops. I don't have any Giovanni's for whatever reason. I have yet to grab a Giovanni. But when I do grab Giovanni, I'm gonna take these potions out because I don't think this deck really needs potions. Because like I said, we're really glassy and we're not gonna survive a lot of things. So we just want to maximize our damage right now. And I think I will put some Giovanni's in this deck as soon as I get them. But yeah. Uh, but this is the sorry, so you guys can see my full deck. Yeah, Blaine, two Pressure Research, two Pokeballs, two X's. Pretty much most of my decks are usually revolved around two potions, two X's, two Pokeballs, and two Pressure Researches. But if you Professor Researches, but if you're not, if like a deck like this, I don't think needs the potions because it's no bulk really here. You know, you just hope. Well, I will say this: like, if I'm going against a Mewtwo, a potion does make Rapidash, a 3-hit kill, and also a potion does. I think also makes Ninetale a 3-hit kill against Mewtwo EX. So I guess that's a bonus here. And so Rapidash again, underrated card. Definitely a meta. He definitely stacks well against the meta. So. And I think, secondly, and I had a deck video that did really well. With sorry, not a deck, a deck. Yeah, the deck did really well, but I also had a video that did really well with me talking about a Primate deck. Well, it was a Machamp deck, but Primate was really the star of that deck. And this is a Primate deck I built recently. Specifically, I built this after they dropped the promo Mankey because I felt with this Mankey that he was able to be a standalone, like the standalone star of the deck. So he does this really well. I think he comes in and he hits really hard, really early. Only issue What's the issue with this deck? Only issue with this deck is that I feel there's so many Pokemon that hit for 40 that he gets knocked out. I feel like he gets knocked out pretty easy turn I feel like he gets knocked out pretty easy turn if you turn 3. But other than that, I think he's pretty good. I think another thing too, you have to get really good at hiding him, I think, because if you play him early, you know, Primate needs 2 to attack. So if you go turn 1, then they attack your Mankey turn 2, I think then you have to essentially hide your Mankey or I guess let Primate take another hit while you build up more energy. But other than that, I think you kind of have to keep hiding or just not even let him. It's really tricky. Like he has to go second to be effective, and you just have to hope that they don't have some Pokemon like Rapidash, their Marowak, or something like that where their turn 3 they can just one shot you your Mankey. So I think that's or just simply a Farfetch. If they're running a Farfetch, you're knocked out there. So really tricky here. I almost prefer the I almost kind of prefer the other Mankey. I'm not gonna lie. But this one, I haven't played it too much for me to really say. But I just feel like it's kind of tough and sometimes easy to play around. But when Primate works, he works really well, and he's tough to like. I mean, he's tough. Only thing is, 90 health. So even with just the 10, he's at 80. He's at 80. So 80's pretty easy for a lot of things to Oko. Obviously Pikachu again, Starmie. Same things that would knock out a Rapidash, kind of knock out Primeape here. Especially now, even more so with that with 10 less HP. So, but other than that, yeah, he's hitting super hard. But in my opinion, I think Ninetales just is a little bit better because Ninetales can hit. Ninetales guaranteed to hit 90. You don't need to do any setup. You're still 2 energy, guaranteed to do 90. And also on top of that, with your Blaine, you can do 120. So again, with that Ninetales, you can one shot Pikachu EX, one shot a lot of stuff. and just any damage on like a Starmie is that then they're pretty much one shotted too. So but yeah, so other than that, I think Primate takes just a little like the new Mankey's perfect for him, but it's just very situational, and you just gotta hope that they don't have something that can like knock him out on turn three. So other than that, yeah, really great card, and also with the amount of Misties, yeah, it is pretty guaranteed that someone's gonna hit you for over 40 turn three, especially with these loose Misties and stuff like that. So but yeah, other than that, yeah, Mankey's pretty good. Pair him up with Sand Slash, like I do, or Marowak. I like to throw Marowak in because if we go first, then we can throw Marowak in and let Marowak start chipping away some early damage. But again, another thing with this deck, like I said, is you kind of want to get Mankey going early, and I think that's the thing too. Is I don't know how well if he pairs that well with Marowak, because you kind of really want to make sure that he's in the front, he's taking some damage, he's getting set up. So, but yeah, I think Marowak is good stall at least until you can get him set up. But yeah, it's kind of 50-50. I gotta I'm still working with this. I gotta play a few more matches to see if maybe Marowak is too much. Maybe I need to take him out. And then like I said, yeah. Two potions. Another option, I guess, if you want to take a Marowak out, put Hitmonlee in, and then Hitmonlee in, and then maybe add another potion to the deck. Maybe do a little justice for this. So yeah, and then I think oh, those are the main three. So I think those I've played those decks. They work really nicely against the meta. But obviously, to be honest, when those meta decks are really working, is not too much you can do really to stop them, especially if you're going against like a Charizard EX deck and Moltres is hitting every turn. It's pretty hard to stop that. If you go in against a Pikachu deck and they went second, yeah, they're building up energy before you. Pretty hard to probably stop that too. So yeah, a lot of things hard to stop. But I mean Pikachu EX. I think every deck I've listed kind of beats Pikachu EX pretty good and well. Yes. So anything else? Also, Dragonite. I feel Dragonite fares really well into Mewtwo as well. So anything else I want to? Yeah. So the coughing deck. So I don't. Let me see if I can try to build it without like actually having all the cards I need. So oh, also I think another thing, Alakazam. I don't have Alakazam. Oh wait, oh I do have one to take target ability. So this attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's Pokemon. So if you do the math, Pikachu normally carries 2 energy. If you do the math, this card does 120 to Pikachu. This card also does I think to pretty much everyone that would be where they need to be at. I think he does uh if they haven't, their Mewtwo and Charizard both lose 2 energies. So but minus if they're at full energy when you attack them, I think you knock them both out. They're both one shotted if they both have the full energy on them. But Alakazam really strong. All you have to do is kind of very similar to Dragonite. You just stall until you set him up and build up energy on him. I think he's a little bit even more easier because Dragonite has the issue of sometimes not getting the other energy it needs. So you're balanced. You need an electric and you need a water with Dragonite. And sometimes the game does not give you one or the other. Sometimes you will get 5 waters in a row, and you then by that turn you're supposed to be attacking with Dragonite, you can't because you didn't get the other energy you needed. So sometimes, yeah, that can happen. But with this, you're guaranteed to be getting the energy you need. And then again, you can use coughing or wheezing. Wheezing, like I said, is always Um, always go to it. Weezing is always a great staller. So again, pay him in, and also if you really wanted to, you're taking a chance here. But if you're using Weezing, and also the reason Weezing's so good is because of Koga too. So Weezing can take pretty much like two hits. You Koga him, and you don't lose a card. So he's a good staller that doesn't have to die. So yeah, and then Weezing, like I said, he takes some hits, does some damage, comes out, then you're ready to go with Alakazam from there. And Alakazam, surprisingly, is normally a glass cannon, but that Alakazam, like I said, was 130. 130 is pretty tough. So if he comes into something, he's guaranteed to probably survive another hit unless they're like holding their EX Charizard in the back or something like or Mewtwo or something. Unless they're holding somebody in the back. But yeah, if he comes into the fight, yeah, he's doing damage. He's coming in swinging. But yeah, and pretty tough, pretty tough. Another pretty much almost like a pseudo legendary there. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Alakazam, Weezing, Coffin. Oh, and you could also do a Weezing Arbok combo. Let's do Arbok. Not specific enough. I didn't realize there was so many AR names on here. So Arbok is also a nice card you can do. So you can pretty much Weezing, hit them Weezing. You're hitting them, poison them, and then you can Koga out of that once your Weezing gets pretty low, and then at that point they're poisoned. So they're poisoned. Then your Arbok comes in. Your Arbok keeps them where they're at. Arbok keeps them trapped, and he's doing 60. So pretty much 80 because they're gonna be poisoned and they can't leave. So a good 80 on top of probably already getting hit with 50. Arbok's not an easy kill either. So yeah, I think this deck also works really nicely as well. And then in this deck, I think you only just need two, just pretty much the both just two Arbok, two Ekans, two Weezings, two Coffins, and I think that's you can just pretty much that's all the setup you need, I think, pretty much. And unless you want to just throw a Farfetch or something in there, but yeah, I think those are pretty much the best non-meta decks. Weezing is really, really great. I really wish I could pull the second Weezing so I can really start using him in these decks. But Weezing's really great. Again, Ninetale is really strong. Dragonite, I've seen a lot of decks, so I almost don't even want to call Dragonite like I almost don't even like calling him underrated, but he's definitely is not meta. But yeah, Dragonite also is up there. And then like I said, Primeape as well. So Primeape is another great option. I just have not mastered using Primeape yet, but if you guys can like really have some great success with him, I can foresee that because like I said, he's definitely come clutch, especially in my first Machamp video. Go check that out. He definitely was the MVP, and I said that in the video. I knew because I just know he just has come clutch for me more often than not. Especially when you really need him to. But I've had more success with this Mankey, I think, than the promo one. But I gotta play around with the promo one a little bit more for I really just. But yeah, stick with those decks. They work really well against the meta. Again, these decks still they're obviously not coming first and second in tournaments, but they definitely will keep you competing, especially if you're a free to play player or things like that, or you're new and you're trying to just get some early decks. These are also really great early decks as well because EXs are so rare that it takes a while to get at least a pair, and I think that's the that's the funny thing about this game is like if you could just like get one, if you just pull the one card and then you could just basically put two of them in your deck, you know how great that would be. But yeah. So anyways, Hope you guys did enjoy this, man. Real diversity. We are out. Peace out. Let me leave a comment. Let me know which deck you enjoyed the most. Also leave a like, and if you enjoy and want to see more, hit that subscribe button, man. We're out. Peace.